Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Aksana, and in this video I'll talk about energies 16 through 22 on the money line in Matrix of Destiny. So on the money line there is a point of entrance, number under the dollar sign, and point of exit. And energies on the money line show what can be done and what shouldn't be done to improve finances. I will also mention what interests and occupations are associated with each energy. However, when choosing occupation, don't limit yourself, don't look at the money line only, because entire matrix plays an important role when you make that decision. So when we look at the money line, our task is to implement the main principles of those energies. So 16th energy, the energy of spiritual awakening. What can have a positive effect when we have 16th energy on the money line? Well, first of all, growing and developing spiritually, bringing that spiritual awakening into the world and becoming a spiritual leader or a spiritual teacher for people around you. And what does it exactly mean? When we develop our awareness, when we become conscious, when we appreciate the present moment, when we realize our inner strengths, the strengths of our spirit, and when we trust the higher power as our guidance, when we trust the universe, when we don't put material things above spiritual, when we appreciate and enjoy material world, nevertheless it isn't our highest priority. When we don't attach to things or people and we're ready to adjust if necessary, that including not being attached to any plans, any schedules. It's not recommended with 16th energy to set up like clear targets, like due dates or goals to make a certain amount of money by certain date. No, there is a high risk that something will go not as planned, because with 16th energy, that mindset, it's more of like self-pride, like I know I'll do this or that by this time, and the life will show that that's not the case, that not everything can be controlled, and usually that mindset comes from ego, and the life will show and prove that our ego cannot control everything. Also, the positive effect will be when you learn to overcome any difficulties with dignity and wisdom, with deep understanding that everything happens for the reason, and understanding that one day everything will make a perfect sense. If it's great if you have a high idea behind your career, business, and earning as much as possible shouldn't be the only intention. So here it's important to build the right tower. Starting something new from scratch is really good. Demolishing the old that doesn't serve us anymore and building something new. This is about your ability to destroy old systems that isn't working anymore and build a new system or structure that will be able to exist for a long time and under any conditions. This can happen on both physical and mental levels, meaning that it can be construction business, for example, when something is demolished, something old, and you build a new one. Or it can be on mental level when the old mentality, old mindset is replaced with the new way of thinking. But you have to be careful when there is a desire to destroy. If that desire comes from anger, stubbornness, or desperation, then the temptation to destroy should be resisted. However, when that desire comes from constructive intentions, from a state of calm confidence, sense of necessity, understanding that time has come, then demolition of an old is the way to go. Doing work thoroughly with full attention and clarity is important, being a good example for other people, and training your willpower and physical strength will also have a positive effect on your finances. What about negative effect? Well, first of all, avoid spiritual pride. It's when people realize their inner strengths and start thinking that they're better than others. When also somebody believes that their success are purely due to their talents and they can do everything on their own. When a person thinks that way, usually life proves the opposite, and as a 16th energy is about spiritual awakening, and sometimes it happens through crisis. So remember that attachment to material possessions as well, money, plan, schedule, may have a negative effect. Remember that there is a high risk that anything you get strongly attached to and make it super important will be taken away from you. So being stubborn, lack of flexibility, aggression are also things that should be avoided. Being a cause of destructions, not only finances and careers of other people, but any destruction in general, like someone's relationship, for example, beliefs or hopes. And I wanted to mention Dolores Cannon, a well-known hypnotherapist and author of many books, creator of QHHT, which is quantum healing hypnosis technique. She's no longer with us, but the work Dolores Cannon has done for the last 40 years of her life is the perfect example of 16th energy. And she had 16th energy on the money line. It was 816-8 to be exact. The hypnosis technique she created helped many people to heal and grow spiritually. And in her interviews, often she mentioned that most of her clients needed a single session, so only one session, and their lives were changed forever. This is a perfect example of 16th energy. So she was basically destroying the old way of thinking, the old mentality, and replacing it with the new way of thinking through those sessions. And the reason I wanted to share it with you is because I believe this is a perfect example of 16th energies on the money line, creating something new, helping others to grow spiritually. So definitely check her work out, her books, if anyone interested in past lives and hypnosis. And occupations and industries related to 16th energies, it's anything related to leadership, business, therapy, healing, coaching, construction, demolition, sports, military, sudden changes, and risks. Okay, so let's go to 17th energy, the energy of star and creativity. With 17th energy on the money line, money comes through your talent, beauty, charisma, fans, followers. So whatever you do, it's important for you to stay visible, to grow professionally, and shine like a star. It's important to develop your talent, your creativity, and believing in your success, having no doubts in yourself. There is a high chance of becoming famous in your field, being the one others focus on and want to get to the same level. So showing your talents with confidence, with gratitude to the higher power and love for people. So remaining true to your talent is important. Helping others to develop their talents and to succeed will also have a positive effect on your finances. Taking a representative role, being in the center of attention, being on stage, maybe representing a company, shining like a star, as I mentioned before, and having a creative approach is important. So reveal your creative potential in anything you do and just shine brightly. So what will have a negative effect? Not seeing talents in yourself, self-doubt, or the other side when the person showing pride and considering other people worthless creatures, like they have a talent so they're higher than anybody else. Envy of success of other people as well, gossips, lies, criticism, underestimation of the results and achievements of other people, not letting others to reveal their talents and creativity. And occupation and industry, it's anything related to show business, stage, beauty, presentations, art, sport, coaching, fashion, modeling, self-expression. as well as just being a true professional of whatever you do. It also related to ecology, astro, so anything related to astro, like astronomy, astrology, space. Lots of astrologists have 17th energy on the money line. Or just working for the well-known companies, working for some companies that are famous and everybody know about them. 18th energy, the energy of the moon, energy of imagination and psychic abilities. With 18th energy, it's important to apply knowledge that studies human nature, like psychology, astrology, numerology, human design, or anything of that sort. Combine it with information that comes to you and mixing different approaches, finding your own unique way. Using the power of your own mind is very important here. So that's about affirmations, imagination, visualization, meditation, desire cards. All these instruments can be very effective and very powerful for you, way more effective than for people without 18th energy. So use this power, use those instruments. Helping others through your healing, your psychic abilities as well, and paying attention to the moon cycles is another advice. And of course, with 18th energy, once in a while you may get into that dark mode. We're not robots, we all feel downs once in a while. It's all normal, but if you learn not to stay in that mode for too long, if you can figure out how to pull yourself out of it faster without any substances or artificial ways, then you'll do yourself a great favor. Perhaps it can be as simple as taking a walk in nature, even better if it's by the water, or maybe taking a shower and imagining how water washes away all negative thoughts and emotions. Or maybe it's talking to your friend or a therapist. What else will have a negative effect? It's having fears, negative thinking, depression, being too rational, rejecting anything that cannot be logically explained, or using your psychic abilities with bad intentions, or not accepting your psychic abilities, lies, manipulations, escaping reality, illusions, addictions, that all will have a negative effect. And when it comes to occupation and industries, it's anything related to creativity, art, music, psychology, healing, empathy, magic. It can be working in esoteric field, anything that cannot be explained by logic. It's also related to ocean, photography, TV, acting. People with 18th energy can be very talented actors or actresses. Writing, beauty, they can also be very good stylist who magically change image of another person, as well as just simply working at night or in dark places. But also keep in mind that energy on the money line isn't always about what to do, but it's more about how to do it. So, and I would like to give an example here of how 18th energy can work on the money line, or how you can use its magical powers. I recently watched an interview with a famous tennis player, Novak Djokovic. He's got 12-18-6 code on his money line. So the first thought could be that it isn't so much about being a professional athlete. However, when during the interview he shared interesting tricks he has done while playing, it made so much sense and perfectly describes 18th energy in action. And first of all, he was very lucky with the coach who taught him when he was still very young how to meditate, visualize. So basically he learned to manage the power of his mind. He also mentioned that when he played with other talented tennis players, Federer and Nadal, very often the audience was supporting his opponents and basically it felt like they were against him. And when people were shouting, Roger, Roger, he was pretending they were saying his name, Novak, Novak, and this made him feel more powerful. And he managed not to let his mind think differently. And it worked as a fuel. So I was just amazed by this trick. It's very simple and yet so powerful. So if you have 18th energy on the money line, it's essential to learn to manage your thoughts, your inner state, and know and believe that your mind can do wonders. 19th energy, the energy of the sun, energy of abundance, generosity, joy, tremendous amount of energy, charisma. So of course, it's a high chance of taking leadership role in of any scale, from manager to president. It's the ability to do several projects at the same time because there is a tremendous amount of energy. So what will have a positive effect? Being happy, spreading positive vibes, feeling joy will have definitely have a positive effect. So just being like a sun where you spread those positive vibes around you, sharing your tremendous energy with other people, is inspiring them. So that's being very generous with your attention as well. It's great if you can take responsibility and lead other people. Getting along with kids will have a good effect, playing with them, being generous and charitable, participation in social projects, and being generous not only in terms of money, but also generously share your positivity, your happiness with others, being generous with gifts, and as well as good relationships with brothers and sisters will have a positive effect. This is an indication that you can be very successful in business, maybe even create your own brand, because 19th energy is perfect for that, creating your own brand. You can do the most ambitious projects. Great if you can provide jobs and opportunities to earn money for other people or teach them how to succeed. This also will benefit your finances. And remember that often success comes with the third attempt. Let's keep that in mind. So it's important to never give up. So what will have a negative effect? Obsession with money, stinginess and greed, egoistic, over-controlling behavior, pride, indifference to other people, and aggression. Conflicts with siblings as well, and not willing to have kids, abortions, as well as feeling guilt, blaming yourself, not being able to enjoy life, feeling down, being pessimistic, and giving up. So regardless of your age, let your inner kid to have fun. The more joy you have in your life, the more money will come your way. And when it comes to occupation and industry, it's anything related to leadership, business, politics, publicity, brand names, finances, real estate, power, entertainment, marketing, jewelry, and anything related to luxury and luxurious things. 20th energy. With 20th energy, overall quality of relationships at home directly correlate with your money. So it's important to restore connections, uniting members of your family and uniting people in general. It's very soft and kind energy. It gives a deep understanding of people and situations, strong intuition, healing qualities, and your finances will benefit if you use all of those skills for the good cause, helping other people. So supporting your parents is important, and other relatives, including financial support if needed, learning your family history, stories of your ancestors, helping others to discover history of their families as well, showing respect and appreciation to your motherland. It's important not to judge, not to criticize government, for example. Trusting your intuition is important, and being a channel of new knowledge to people. In business, this energy gives a very good vision, sometimes even foreseeing the events and knowing what direction to take. Often people with 20th energy on the money line work with their relatives or they have a family business. And 20th energy is also about spreading knowledge on a big scale, as well as uniting people in helping others. People with 20th energy are very good at gathering the crowd. So when, for example, on social media, someone mentions that their friend or neighbor needs help, and there is a huge response, everyone wants to help, this is 20th energy in action. So even if it's not related to the job you're doing, when you use these skills of uniting people, it will activate your 20th energy, and thus will attract more money your way. Similar with 12th energy, it's great when the person invests some time in volunteering and helping others. The negative effect, the conflicts with parents and relatives, absolutely. Judging, evaluating other people, greed, materialism, lack of spiritual development, criticism and rejection of motherland. And occupation and industries, it's anything related to family. It can be a family doctor, family counselor, family lawyer, business industries where there is a large flow of information, mass media, politics, public events, medical field, esoteric field, helping professions, research, for example, genealogy, researching family histories and ancestors, spiritual development and psychology. 21st energy, the energy of the world, energy of expansion and peace. With the 21st energy, expansion of your mind, of your consciousness, your personal development are very important. It can develop in different forms. So for example, getting to know the world through travel, through reading books, through learning new different cultures, learning new languages, new musical instruments, improving your skills. All of that will have a great effect. Integrating experiences from related fields or your own experience into the work or business. It's a great energy for business or working at international companies with global impact. It's recommended to set really big goals, goals that humanity and even our planet will benefit from. At the very least, there shouldn't be any harm to the planet, to ecology, or to humanity. Remember the power of small steps, of being grateful, treating people equally and with respect, care for the planet, for humanity, of course, and being able to resolve conflicts and disagreement peacefully are very important. Negative effect, lack of activity to the point when the person is afraid of going outside, not willing to connect with other people, will have a negative effect. Limited beliefs, fear of development and expansion, being passive, hiding from the world, aggression, conflicts, constant dissatisfaction with how things are going, lack of patience. Remember those small steps. When the person wants everything now and choosing to do nothing rather than developing gradually, taking position of everything now or nothing at all, pushing your own beliefs on others, rejecting other cultures, religions, and so on, doing anything destructive and harmful to people, to ecology and planet, restricting freedom and development of other people. Also with 21st energy on the money line, it's not recommended to take too many loans, or at least be very careful. Make sure that conditions of those loans don't limit you too much, because for you it's important to have that freedom. Otherwise, there is a risk that will be very difficult to pay it off. And when it comes to occupation and industry, anything related to travel, business, international relations, politics, diplomacy, internet, it's really good energy to have that internet business, global connections, animal protection, ecology, education, working remotely from anywhere is great as well, because that gives you freedom. This is just to name the few or to give you an idea, but of course the list is can be unlimited. Okay, let's go to 22nd energy, the energy of freedom, energy of freedom of the spirit. So what will have a positive effect? A person with 22nd energy on the money line, when this energy is balanced, they can easily reach financial freedom. There is a high chance of having multiple sources of income. So flexible schedule, working with pleasure is important. Having freedom of choices and actions. It's a great energy for freelance or having own business. It's important to bring joy to other people, because 22nd energy is about being joyful, celebrating, being free and positive. It's good if you can help others to reach financial freedom, to find their passion. Quite often, very successful businessmen have 22nd energy on the money line. They're fearless, adventurous, and they're working with pleasure. So, and once they manage to create financial freedom, it increases their chances of making even more money, because 22nd is about freedom. So it's about being spontaneous, believing that there are no limits. So basically having a mindset that the sky is the limit is perfect for you. Having good relationships with kids is important, and actually having kids as well, and the more the better. It's the same applies to 19th energy as well. Very often people with 22nd energy have 3 or even more kids. And of course, even if you don't have your own business, if you have a hired position, just bringing joy to other people will have a good effect. When you feel free at work, it's not about doing anything you want, but just have that sense, that feeling of freedom, that you can freely express yourself when there is a space for humor and jokes, and overall when it's a friendly and kind atmosphere at work. And what will have a negative effect on your finances? Restricting beliefs about earning money, staying at the job that you're not satisfied with anymore. So tendency to calculate everything and not trusting the universe, not trying other options. Addictions as well, and trying to get easy money through crimes, scams, and things like that. As well as restricting other people, making others feel obligated and restricting their freedom. And occupation and industry, it's anything related to working with children, entertainment, travel, freelance, business. This is just to name the few. There could be any job, any work. As long as you have fun at work, you should be fine. So this is all for the money line. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate your support. And I wish you a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.